Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Techno Witches is an old game, I think, by Cosmos. It's a sort of game you don't really see very much anymore, and I'm really surprised this was never released with a Harry Potter theme. It just seems like that would be a good fit for it. So Techno Witches is a race, and there's different scenarios and boards you can play, but the idea is to use these little cardboard pieces to get to certain locations, and that's what you're going to do in the game. Now, but when you draft them, you can't put them down, so you kind of program it out. You don't always know where you're going to end up, and therein lies the fun of the game. It's a racing game, but with a little bit of unknown, with a little bit of drafting in it as you're going through these aspects of what you're doing. This game kind of fell flat for us. It wasn't something that we found a lot of fun in. We found a little bit more frustration in, and we find fun a little bit more different racing games and different styles. But then there was a game called Wreckage, and this is kind of a big thing at the time to have these little cardboard chits out that will lead you to different places, and you're programming them as you go. Not our favorite, but if you're into the witches or the Harry Potter scene or something like that, I think this game is going to be very appealing to you. There is fun in the race. There is fun in going in the wrong place and stuff. And if you're okay with not finding that as a frustrating matter, that's pretty much the aspect of the game. It's very simple to teach, very simple to play, and it looks good, and the components are going to hold up just well. For us, it's a Purge, but I think a lot of people will find fun with this game. Here's Techno Witches. Now, the Cosmo kind of looks like a two-player game. It's square like it, but it's a little bit thicker and a little bit bigger, and it plays 2 to 4. So it's not technically part of the line, although the game probably plays better two-player. Open up, you get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. Then you're going to get an insert, which appears to be a custom insert, but it's definitely not for this game. I kind of threw some things in here. I mean, some of the pieces fit really well. Like this fits really well in there. I can put stuff in here, and I kind of organize it pretty well, but it's not made for that. You're going to have a lot of cardboard in this. These are pretty cool little things that you'll be programming with. And these will be the little witches that you have. They kind of fold in and don't stay all that great, but they are very different with colors and different shapes. You know, if you're colorblind, you should be able to at least look at the pictures and see the differences. You have these little pieces that will make up kind of the board or the outline of the board of what you're going for. And these are the curves and etc. you'll be utilizing to move. The cardboard is really, really nice. Don't really have any issues with it. I think the colors are nice. I think the witches are cute and played for laughs, etc. So components are really good. You know, nowadays it probably would have been miniatures and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I think it works fine for what this game is. Here's the rulebook. It's in full color. You can see a picture of the contents. Now, what's a little weird about this is there are different words kind of put in here that are not English, kind of thrown in there for some reason. And you're going to have pictures and pretty examples. And I just don't like the look of it. The font's kind of weird, but like, I wish these were bigger, like the headings and stuff. It's very kind of maybe nitpicking, but the rules are pretty good. And what you're going to get in here is 2 simple rules: place a curve or fly. And then you're going to open up, and you're going to have different scenarios that you can play through. And if you play through them in order, you definitely will learn additional rules as you go, etc. This is for experienced flyers once you kind of understand what is going on, etc. And you go through and you can see who the victory is. But the victory is going to depend on which scenario you are. So really, you're kind of, these rules will be used for everything. And then maybe you'll start here with the first one and kind of move on from there. So that's kind of how that will work. If you're going to just do one scenario at first, you know, you don't need just this one page really is all you need to read through. So maybe 5 minutes, read through this, and then you'll be good. And then the next scenario, you'll start here where the yellow's at, read this. The next time you read that. So the rulebook's kind of broken down into scenarios. Very good. And I didn't really have any issues. It's a very simple game. The way the game is going to set up, you're going to have these boundaries that will be set up. I'm just doing something silly here to get us started. And you're going to have this little tail here. That will be the end of your guy. And you'll get one of these boards. So on your turn, what you can do is you can pick from any of the curves, whatever. You're not allowed to put it down and look at it. You just kind of have to eyeball it. And you would draft one of these and you'd put it here on your one spot. And maybe you'll take a different one on your next turn, etc. And you can take up to 5 of these. At any point that you want to, you can go ahead and utilize these. So what you'll do is you'll take your guy off here. You keep your trail there. And you'll put this out like so. And then you put your guy out. And that's kind of the path that you went. And then you bring your trail up behind it again. So that's kind of how you're going to move. So the entire game is you'll be picking from a whole bunch of these. You'll be drafting these that you'll program out and you'll move around like that. Now, there's different scenarios you can play where you're trying to get like to these spots, maybe numerical order. There might be some of these huts that are out there. They can get a little bit more complicated. On some of them, you have to get to the cat, and you find the cat, and it kind of clips to you up here, and then somebody can steal the cat from you. So there's different ways to go, but the whole game is centered around this programming aspect of taking these and putting these out. Maybe I draft 2 of these, and then I take him off, and I can choose which way I want to go. And look at that. I went to the place that I was trying to go to, and that's a hit. Now, if you run into somebody else, you got to stop moving. So maybe I'd do something like this, and then maybe I touch that and I connect it to it. That's how it is. Once you meet whatever the goals are for scenario, you are the first one there. It's a racing game. You're the winner of the game. Who should buy this game? Anybody looking for an experience where you're kind of racing, but it's a little bit unknown, a little bit of programming. You like the witches aspect. Maybe you have a little Harry Potter fan in your house. I think this game will be a strong addition with that. If you're looking for like the best racing game on the market, this probably isn't it. I don't know if it was intended to be, but it is unique how you're drafting those pieces and not always landing exactly where you want. There's a little fudging with that can happen sometimes where it's like, exactly where do I land? And you just have to house roll that or fix it up a little bit. But it's a very fun experience, but just one that didn't work out for us, a Purge.